The Southwest DuBois School Corporation names a new superintendent. Jasper Public Library joins an exclusive club of Indiana libraries with early literacy stations. And in sports, Kurt Guxell talks to Northeast DuBois coach Terry Friedman about the Jeeps' upcoming regional game against Bar Reeve on Saturday. Those stories and much more coming up next on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raffs. In the news, Southridge High School Principal Mike Einman has been selected as the new superintendent of Southwest DuBois School Corporation beginning next month. In a special meeting last night, the Southwest Board voted 3-2 in favor of offering the job to Einman, who will accept the position. The 60-year-old will replace Terry Inlow, who announced his intentions to retire last October. Inlow will step down from the position on April 12th. The Southwest DuBois Board has spent the last 2 months interviewing 4 candidates for the job, including current Assistant Superintendent Chad Schenk, before selecting Einman. Board President Kevin Wortman, along with members Chris New and Mike Broker, all voted in favor of Einman at last night's meeting, while Shannon Hildebransky and Jerome Baining voted against his selection. A 1976 graduate of the University of Evansville, Einman began his career in education, teaching business for 7 years at Franklin High School before moving on to Perry Central High School as a teacher and basketball coach. He later served at Southwestern Hanover High School as athletic director, Indian Creek High School as a teacher and coach, and Bloomington North High School as athletic director. Einman was assistant principal at Shelbyville High School in the early 1990s before spending the last 11 years at Southridge. Jasper Public Library has recently acquired an early literacy station for its children's library through a state library grant. Library Director Rita Douthit says the library was one of only 22 Indiana libraries to receive a grant for one of the early literacy stations from the Library Technology Service Administration.
It is an all-in-one computer system for preschoolers, and it just teaches literacy, colors, reading, numbers, touchscreen. It's just great. So we're working on getting it ready to put out for the kids to start using.
Douthit hopes to get the literacy station set up for children's use within a few weeks. She says library staff are currently being trained on the computer. She also says they are looking for a place to put the machine, as well as finishing up training packets for parents and staff. Children's librarians Christine Howard and Lisa McWilliams wrote the grant for the literacy station. Douthit also informed the library boards last night that they plan to apply for an innovative technology grant for a walking station. Jasper board member Dean Vonderheide made the board aware of the treadmill with computer machine through Kimball's use of the technology. Vonderheide says his company has acquired 12 of the walking stations. He says employees walk 1 mile per hour while using the phone or the computer. Douthit suggested the walking station could be open to library staff for patrons to use. Last night, the Du Bois County Contractual Library Board unveiled plans to apply for another grant to pay for repairs and additions to the Birdseye Library. Contractual Board President Kathy Treader says the board would like to take over ownership of the building from the town of Birdseye, but they don't have the funds to do so. She says the first step is to apply for a planning grant through the Region 15 Planning Commission for a study to determine what can be done with the property.
If it all comes out that that is something we should pursue, we would go after a community-focused fund grant. And those are administered through the state. They're federal monies. They're usually $400,000, $500,000 type grants, and in fact, that is how we built the Du Bois Library. But this one would be used to amend the property that we have now and make it a more viable space. There's actually quite a bit of land around that library building, so we could, make the parking more efficient. We could expand the building. We could do a lot with it, and then hopefully expand hours. It's really going great guns. It's only open 2 days a week, and the library's just doing wonderful. People are loving it. There's all kinds of programs there. So we just think it would be a great asset for the community to have a really, nice library.
Treader says the parking lot or building can be expanded with surrounding land. The city of Huntingburg approved the hiring of Josh Hemmer as the city's 11th police officer during yesterday's Board of Public Works meeting. Hemmer hails from Holland, Indiana, where he is currently the town marshal. Chief of Police Art Parks said that Hemmer's hiring allows the department to fill shifts when an officer goes on vacation.
We only had 10 officers for several years. And when they got vacations, there leaves one officer on, and a lot of times that, me being patrolman coming up to chief, I know full well that you're putting on by yourself and you get several calls, you can't keep up with them. So with the 11th officer, they take care of sick days, helping out, and somebody takes off, he can fill in there, or vacation days or personal days or comp days. That's all going to work out to the best we can get it to work out to fill every shift.
Hemmer is set to begin work on March 25th. During the same meeting, Huntingburg also approved new police department regulations, including giving parks the discretion on whether or not a ticket is issued after someone receives 2 warnings.
It was set up to where the chief didn't have any other option. Once someone had got 2 warnings, they mandated they got a ticket. I had to talk to the attorney and got it set up to where the board approved it to where I see every warning that comes through, every ticket, but I don't have to necessarily write a ticket after the second warning. It's up to optional. If it has to happen, it's not mandated. I have to now.
Parks says he expects things to largely remain the same because he already sees every warning and ticket written by Huntingburg police officers. 4 people were arrested Thursday evening after the Du Bois County Sheriff's Office received a complaint of a vehicle driving recklessly in Jasper. A caller reported that the suspected vehicle ran 2 cars off of the road north of Huntingburg on U.S. Highway 231. Later, a sheriff's deputy observed the reported vehicle pulling into the parking lot of the Sleep Inn in Jasper. The deputy then attempted to talk to the driver, identified as 22-year-old Weston Rust of Jasper, but Rust fled inside the hotel, where he was apprehended after a short pursuit. 2 other people in the car, including 18-year-old Amy Engel of Holland, also attempted to flee, but were apprehended in the hotel lobby. Police determined that Engel and Rust were staying in one of the hotel rooms, where the police went to investigate for more possible underage drinking. After finding alcohol, synthetic marijuana, and other paraphernalia in the room, police arrested 28-year-old Amy Biddle of Jasper, who was renting the room. A 4th person, 18-year-old Brittany Feltner of Huntingburg, was found in the room along with Biddle and another person, and was arrested for minor consumption, possession of synthetic marijuana, and possession of raw paraphernalia. Rust faces a Class D felony charge of driving while intoxicated after it was determined that this was his 2nd offense in 5 years. He also faces misdemeanor counts of reckless driving, driving while suspended, and possession of raw paraphernalia. Meanwhile, Biddle was charged with a Class D felony count of maintaining a common nuisance and a misdemeanor count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Engel was charged with a misdemeanor count of minor consumption. All 4 were taken into custody and lodged in the Du Bois County Security Center. Now to some friendly reminders. The Indiana State Troopers will be conducting a sobriety checkpoint at an undisclosed location in Du Bois County this evening. Police say drivers passing through the checkpoint area should have their licenses and registrations ready to present to troopers and will only be detained briefly while troopers determine whether further investigation is necessary. State police encourage motorists encountering another vehicle being operated erratically to dial 911 or to call the Jasper, Indiana State Police Post at 482-1441 or 800-742-7475 and be prepared to give a description of the vehicle, location, and direction of travel. Also, this weekend marks the first of 2 time changes this year across the state of Indiana, including our viewing area. Starting Sunday at 2 a.m., the time will move forward 1 hour in observance of daylight savings time. Make sure to move your clocks forward 1 hour this coming Sunday morning. Coming up next, your local forecast, followed by Kurt Guxell with sports here on 18 WJTS. Local people watching local people.